We have the Snapper6 and the UR65. Now I did say when I was flying the Snapper6, it did feel a little bit on the heavy side, and I wanted to move it over to this plastic frame here, as you can see. Now you do not get these little rubber grommets. They're quite small, if you can see them right here. You don't get them with the frame. I took them off the QX65, believe it or not, just for now, because I've ordered more in. It was just for this video, and I'm also using the QX65 shell, and you can get it in white as well. I do believe the one I got was the standard edition, so you got a lot of extra spares, including screws, so I can mount the main board onto the frame, plus your props as well, your spare props with the QX65. They fit exactly perfectly. Now, before we go any further, let's just weigh them both out, see what they weigh, then we're going to re-weigh it again and see how much weight we have lost. Then we're going to take it out for a test flight and see if I can get a bit of punch out of the Snapper6. Now, Snapper6 is coming in at 24 grams, but I do believe my scale's off just a little bit. And the UR65 is coming in at 21 grams. It's a difference of 3 grams, but believe me, 3 grams can make a whole load of difference when it comes to these tiny whoops. Like I said, this one I was doing a dive from up high, and I tried to pull up and I couldn't make it. I hit the ground, and the main prop aluminum guards held up. They didn't bend at all, so that was really good. Now let's get started. Where are we going to start from? Well, this is where we're going to start from. We're going to prep the main frame up that we're going to put the Snapper6 in, and the reason why I'm saying prep is because there are certain weak spots in this frame. It's the exact same frame as the UR65 basically. The link will be in the description below. Links for everything that I'm using here, all the little extras will be in the description below, including these little rubber grommets. Weak spots are the front part. You could put sugar just in here before you put the frame in, just to give it that much extra durability. But where it snaps is when you bang and land onto the ground. What happens under here at the battery tray, these little tabs snap off. So what I'm going to do is put a bit of sugar, if you can see, right here, right here, right here, right here. I think that's basically it. I don't want to do anything else. I've not snapped the front yet. I don't see any reason to put any glue there. But if you want to put some glue there, put it there. And once you've done that, just set it aside. And by the time you've took the quadcopter apart, it'll be half settled in there, and you'll be able to put your main frame in and get everything else sorted out. Your little canopy. If you don't want the eScene logo on it, that's fine. Easy. You can either get a marker, or you can get some alcohol, like I've got here. And what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to get a cotton bud, just get a bit of alcohol. You can use a cotton bud or kitchen roll, whatever you want. And I'm just going to rub that eScene off. Hopefully it should come off. Are you going to come off? Rub-a-dub-a-dub-dub. I'll just cut this short here. And there you have it. There's the finished result. No more eScene logo on there. And you can put your own logo or a little sticker or whatever you want. But there you have it. Then we still have the white one with the eScene logo. You can take the whole lot off. You can take the whole black printing off if you want. But the whole point of that is really to make it look like a racing quadcopter. Or you can just leave the red one on. I like it in yellow, then you'll be able to see it really good, and it will stand out nice in the grass. Right, now that we have got sugar on the frame, as you can see here, it's not perfect. You just want to get those sides, like I said. You can also put some underneath, but wait a minute, let me just take a bit of this off. There's a bit much here. It's not going to look absolutely beautiful. It's quite annoying to work with sometimes, but you can sand it down once it's settled in there. Anyway, let's get that out of the way just now and bring the main frame over, because what we'll need to do is we'll need to take all the motor screws out. Now get yourself a little tray or something to put your motor screws in so you don't lose them. What I'm basically going to do is set them aside, because I'm usually really careful at what I'm doing, and take the top frame off. There's no, I mean, I suppose I could just fast forward it here as I'm doing it. Let me just do that just now. I'll just take one off for you. Do they have Loctite on them? No, they do not. They don't have Loctite on them from the factory, so there you have it. Now you know they don't have Loctite on them, and that's what you can use. Blue Loctite. Do not use red Loctite or you'll never get the screws out ever. Blue Loctite only. And another thing, when you are putting Loctite on, do not get Loctite onto plastic, because Loctite corrodes plastic, and if you were to get it on the bottom here, it will corrode the plastic right there, and that is where the frame will snap. And I'll just take this other screw off, and that'll be that motor loose. You do not need to take the props off when you're taking the screws off. So I've took 3, and now all I have to do is take the motor off. I should have got, actually should have got a tool here. Let me pop this off, because there's another screw there that's rather annoying. It's blocking the way of me getting into the plug itself. Long screw that one is, isn't it? Check it out. And it's bent as well. And that's one little motor off. It's absolutely tiny. Look at the size of that thing. It's so small. Let's see if we can get a good close-up at that. I can't believe how small they've made these motors. It's absolutely amazing technology these days, how they're advancing. And you can see the little C-clip, no pun intended. And remember to make sure that that heat shrink is not touching the bell. And also remember where you've taken the motor off from. So the first one was the front left motor, and we are going to keep it to the side and make it the front left motor, and I'm going to put the screws right beside that. I'm just going to cut it here and take the rest off. One more thing, unplug the motor before you take the screws off. It makes the job a lot easier. It saves the motor from dangling when you're trying to pull that plug out, okay? That's the whole frame out, as you can see here. And now, if we look under where your camera is connected to the main board, here's the thing, and this is what we're going to do. First, I want to get the camera and the VTX out. Now, to do that, I'm going to hold all this. I'm going to be very gentle. What I want to do is I want to unscrew the camera first. I should invest in a little set of better screwdrivers. I do have one, but I think it's just a little bit too big. Right. Okay, now there is one more screw that's holding the camera in, and you won't be able to see it. It's right at the top in here, and what you need to do is put the screwdriver right in here, and you will see it at the top. You just have to, and that will loosen up the camera, and it should just pop out like so. Oh, now watch the antenna as you're pulling that out. And this is the other little screw I was on about that was holding the camera in place right here. This little screw here. Whoops, that, believe it or not, is all that's holding your camera in place. That and the fact that it's sitting in that little plastic shell screwed on with the two screws at the front, and that is why you get gel effect when you crash. The design of this is not good at all. It's really silly. You can't expect something like this to secure your camera. You really can't. Right, anyway, let me get that aside with the rest of the frame. Now that we've got the camera out, you just want to gently get the lens out of there. It should just push through it like so. There you go. Now I have already got the one that we're preparing halfly screwed in. I don't know if that's a good idea or not. Maybe I should have waited, but what I'm going to do is when I get that camera in there, I'm going to sugar it. Yes, again, not sugar, but sugar. And where did that other little screw go? I've lost it. Now, as I was going to say when I took everything apart, what we are now going to do is, people have complained about snapping their main power wires off. Well, we'll fix that. Now that you see that your main camera and VTX has got goo on it, but underneath on the board, there is no goo on it. Why not? Well, we're going to put some on. And on your main receiver antenna, we're going to put some on there. And on the power leads. Everything's going to get gooed up, and we're going to do that right now. I'm going to cut the camera here. There's no point in me leaving it on because it's boring. Just watch me. Well, you might want to see how I do it. I get a bit of paper. Watch. Be very careful with this stuff because it's very sticky. It's like chewing gum. It kind of look. See what it does? That's what it does. And when you're playing around with it, make sure anytime when you're putting it on your quadcopters and the motors are there, be very, very careful. That's all I've got to say. And all you need is just a little bit. So what we'll do is we'll start from underneath. Right, I get a nice camera. Right, I usually just give it a little squeeze, keep a bit of paper there, get a little bit in a toothpick, and just put some on. A bit too much there. Now, you only really need a little bit. I've worked with this stuff for I don't know how long. A lot of people use hot glue, but I hate the fact of holding a big gun with whatever in my hand. This is so much easier. A wee bit on that antenna. That was kind of not too good. What happens is it starts to stick to the toothpick, and you make a gap there, remember, for that little rubber grommet. And that's you. That's us got all that nice and safe. And at any time, if your camera or VTX does blow up, don't worry, you'll be able to get that sugar off, no problem. You can just sit there and peel it off. It does peel off, just with a little patience. That's what it's all about. And also, as we're here, I don't really want to touch that goo that's underneath there. You could probably put a bit on your antenna as well. Why not? And I'm going to do that right now. Why not put a bit on your antenna? I'm going to put a big blob on my antenna, as a matter of fact. There you go. A big blob right there. Just make sure you don't get it on that switch though. And what else? Did we have to? The power wires. Yeah, that's right. The power wires. Let's get those power wires. That's a bit too much, but I don't really care as long as... And if you're thinking, no, it's not conductive, I've put this on many things and turned it on straight away, and nothing's blown up yet. Sugar on everything, no wires are snapping off, no antenna snapping off. The frame's all prepared. Now we'll just set that aside. The motor only goes on one way, and I have not put Loctite on it. And if I was to put Loctite on it, the best way to do it would be, let me just show you an example, would be to get a bit of Loctite, put it on a bit of paper, put a dab in a bit of paper, and just put an absolutely tiny bit, but do not let it drop anywhere else, or even put it on the screw itself and let it sit there for a wee while. You can even leave the screws overnight and you'll see the blue Loctites on it. That will still work. It will give it that bit of extra hold. Now that's one motor put in. I would highly recommend that you make sure that the prop is off, put the motor in first, then the prop on. Be careful, be very, very careful with those motor wires, and make sure, like I said before, that that heat shrink is not touching the bell, but it looks really, really close to me. Now that's all the motors on the frames, and I've checked to make sure all the heat shrink is not touching any bit of the bell, and it's not. I was going to put the other props on, but they were just a little bit too tight. I think I'll need to get a little drill bit just to open it up a little bit more, but they'll squeeze on. Once you take them on and off after a little while, they tend to come quite loose. We'll check the main board and the camera. All the sugar has dried in quite a bit now, and that's really, really good. Now all we need to do is get the camera into the canopy, and what you will find sometimes is the lens won't fit through this little hole properly because it's just not wide enough. Get an X-Acto knife or any other knife and just scrape round the side of it just so you get enough and fit that lens through there, and that's, hopefully we might be able to get it in there first time. I do not know. It's rather difficult. Yeah, I thought so. It's not going to go in there. I'm going to need to get an X-Acto knife. After a while of getting an X-Acto knife and just scraping around the inner circle here, I can now fit the camera in. And the easiest way to do it, obviously, is just to put the antenna through first. You might not think the lens will fit in, but it does. What you need to do is align the camera up. It's a little groove that's inside that little canopy holder. This is the way we want it to look like. It's nice and flush. Now what we want to do now is, we're not finished with our favourite friend. Oh no, it's coming back again. I think I'll tighten the screws up at the side first. Now as you can see, the camera's sitting there. You won't see the lip of that bit of plastic there. I could have shaved a little bit more off, but we'll just leave it at that. Now the reason why I'm not putting this on, like I said, is because I'm going to put sugar on. These cameras always come loose in a crash, and we'll just bring that back over again. I put a huge amount in here, a really big amount. I put it down at the sides and inside, all over the place, so it'll get right in there. And I also put a little bit on the outside as well, if you can see right here. Just at that part of the frame where it tilts the camera up, right here. Now your camera will not come out of place now. There's no way that's coming out of place. But once you've set that, you will not be able to change the degree, the angle that your camera's set to. I don't worry about that because I want my camera set up high anyway. Yeah, everything's in. Those little things are so annoying, I must admit. Right, that's how to get the board in, and the antenna's pointing upward, just the way I like it to be. All the sugar on the camera. Camera's sitting nice, pointing upwards, just the way I want it to be as well. What I'm going to do is screw all the board motors in and put the canopy on. Then when we plug the motors in, it won't push the board back out again. And for that, we'll need all the screws that I got from the QX65 that are here. One large back screw. Did it have one at the front? Does it have one at the front? Let's have a look. No, it does not. And guess what? Just looking at that, my UR65, the board is popped off the front. I'll need to push that back in. Off the front grommet. These little things are rather annoying. You pop them back on there. That's you back on. Always double check that, they pop off really easy. Now all we need to do is put two at the side of the canopy and one at the back, and that's one of those long ones right here, as you can see, that you get from the QX65, and I'm going to do that right now. This has been great fun doing this. Basically a swap over with a little bit of this and that. Now we've put the big screws at the side here to hold the canopy in, and the long black screw at the back. That cable's not going anywhere, I can tell you that. You're never going to get that ripped out in a crash, that's for sure. And what I generally do is I get a screwdriver and I just do that a couple of times. I know it's just a quick way of doing it. Well, you don't have to do this, but I do it. And I pop the antenna and just push it out there, and it looks like that. Exactly like that. I'm going to skip putting it through there just now, because what I want to do is I just want to plug the motors in, and that's basically us done. Make sure you plug them in the right place. Pretty simple. They all go right next to each slot where they're supposed to be, and we're all good there. We're all good there. Everything's all good. Everything put together. Now, the moment of truth without this little rubber bit. Well, I'm going to add it to the scale, but it's going to mean nothing. Absolutely nothing. Okay, so let's bring the scale over. I've turned it on. What we're going to do is weigh the UR65, 21 grams. Well, that's what it was before. And bring the new Snapper6 over in its new frame. And it's the exact same weight, including the little rubber grommet that fell off that I need to put on. And guess what? I am going to totally look forward to flying these two outside now. Look at them, they look like brother and sisters, or brothers, but I think I might take those red props off and just put the yellow props on these ones here, the ones I showed you earlier on. There you go, great fun. That was, let me get the battery as well. Let me see how the battery fits in there. I usually pop the battery in this way. Yeah, that battery's still loose in there. If you can see that, the battery's still loose. What I'm going to do then is just put a tiny bit of sugar yet again. Everybody's going to start buying sugar after this. What I'm going to do is just put a tiny line of sugar right here and here, and that will give us a little bit of thickness instead of what I did with the UR65. I used Velcro, but it didn't really work out that well. I think I'll take the Velcro off that as well and put sugar on that while I'm here. And that's it. Everything will be in the link in the description below. Don't forget to leave a comment. I will be flying this out tomorrow if it's not too windy. What's happening here in the UK is down in the south it's hot, and up in the north here in Scotland it's horrible and cloudy and windy, and that's not very fair. But If I can get this out tomorrow for a flight, I will do. Don't forget to check the links in the description where you can also buy the quadcopter from. I hope you have enjoyed this little swap over and hints and tips. Everything's nice and secure. This is the way it should be. Secured power wires, secured VTX wires on the main board. What else? And obviously, because your battery compartment, it's just too loose. Apart from that, everything's great. And another thing, like I said before, I usually just put a tiny bit of silicone oil just at the C-clip. And don't forget to take your props off every now and again to look for grass or whatever. And that's it. But thanks for watching this video. I hope it was of help to you. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And as always, my friends, happy flying!